Shannon Sharpe will not be back at the start of NFL preseason.
Or season. Or playoffs.
Or postseason. Shannon Sharpe will never see the ESPN airwaves again.
Let's see what the Podfather had to say about Shannon Sharpe stepping down from ESPN. You better like the video. You better subscribe. Let's get it.
Since then, I've gotten a lot of information that I think we should focus on.
Sure.
So, piece of information number one, he announced very recently, as of this broadcast, that he is taking some time away from ESPN.
Sure.
He announced that?
Yeah. He actually said, I'm going to step away.
No, that ain't what he's saying.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he put it out there.
And Freeze was on it, too. Can you break down what happened? Because it was an unk moment.
It definitely was an unk moment. Somebody sent him a text message of what to say. They typed it out. Yo, dog, copy this. This is your statement. They even signed his name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I posted it.
Yeah, yo, post this. That's what they told him. Yo, post this.
Yeah.
He screenshot it, cropped a little box, and posted it.
Yeah. He took,
You know.
Which made it look, to some people, including myself, even less authentic.
Absolutely.
Because it's like it looked like you may not even read it.
You didn't read it.
You know what I'm saying? Like PR team just
screenshot and hit tweet.
But what the message effectively said was that he's stepping away from ESPN to deal with this unfair attack that he's receiving, but that he'll be back by the start of the NFL preseason.
Yeah, I read that. Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, right?
Oh.
No, I was going to say one more thing. I spoke to 2 executives at ESPN the day before.
Fucking journalist right here.
Right?
Yeah.
And what they told me was that he wasn't returning to ESPN. Like that they were already going to cut him. So I'm wondering if either they changed their mind, or I got to put all the possibilities out there.
Sure.
Or this is his team trying to preempt that. Like I'm gonna take a break before y'all officially fire me, because now they can't say he's fired, and hoping that this dies and goes away.
The second that he said he would be back at the start of NFL preseason, I took my hands out, started just doing some counting.
Sure.
August. Oh shit, August is right there.
Yeah,
So let me be the third person to tell you, Dr. Mark Lamont. Shannon Sharpe will not be back at the start of NFL preseason.
Or season. Or playoffs.
Or postseason.
Shannon Sharpe will never see the ESPN airwaves again, and we wish that on no one. But he won't be back in August. But
Wait, time out. If he were to be acquitted, exonerated, whatever the word is,
It can't work.
not by August.
It's too bad now.
Well, yes, but I'm saying certainly not by August.
Gotcha.
Dog, every 10 minutes, something else is coming out.
There's a new accuser now.
Yeah, I've read that.
Like now, we're at the point where we're in full-on attack mode. Like just the noise, again, you talk about companies and weighing your risk. The noise is too loud at this point.
And this is Disney.
Yeah, Disney don't play.
I'd like to know what happens to his other platforms. Like, great, you won't be with Disney.
Right.
What happens with Nightcap? What happens with your shit?
I think he'll be fine.
Some of that shit
I love that he's still working.
Yeah.
Because I like to see people work through the drama.
Yeah.
Are those his?
Nightcap is Shay Shay isn't. Shay Shay's owned by
Volume, right?
Volume. Yeah. So, I mean, look, he makes a lot of money for people, and if you don't have a brand, if you're not brand conscious like these YouTube channels generally aren't, you'll be fine. Now, I'm sure he lost a hell of a large bag.
You might take some of them little logos off the YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that shit's gonna be.
He's having a lot of private conversations in the back channels.
Yeah,
for certain.
So I don't know if he, and I'm curious to know what y'all think. Like, I think he's mishandled this at every turn.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
At every turn, releasing the information about the girl didn't do what he thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot more than it helped.
Yeah.
He need a fixer.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You need a Olivia Pope or somebody on your squad. You need somebody there to say, "Yo, dog, chill out. Let us handle this."
Right.
Releasing the girl is when he lost me.
That didn't help either.
Once I saw the girl, I'm dead ass.
Say more.
It's not a $25,000 butt cheek.
No.
For me, well, for me it's the same. For me, it's the same rules apply for when we talk about the age gaps the other way. It's no difference to me.
Right.
You are 56 years old, about to be 57. My girl was talking about, he's 50 years old. I said, no, the fuck he ain't. Let me hit the Google. No, he ain't. It's just 50. He ain't 50.
Yeah.
No, you 56 years old, and you met the girl. See, that's what I was asking you. It was unclear when we recorded last time. All that was said that broke while we were recording was he met this girl when she was 19, which is foul. But I don't know when you met the girl, and that don't say when you started being romantic, so I won't rush to judgment. Nigga, they say you met the girl in 2023. Nigga, that's yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna say
that's very, 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 very recent. So now you're just nasty. If you didn't do nothing wrong and your story is legit, you look nuts,
you look
dog.
crazy.
And that's why he can't get back to ESPN, because even if he did nothing wrong and nothing illegal, just the shit he's acknowledged he did.
Yep.
Looks absolutely nuts with this little tiny OnlyFans girl.
Listen, I am 41 years old. My wife is 31 years old. We were at a college bar in Elmira this last weekend, which is all probably 21, 22-year-olds. And I felt anxious and weird and had to get the fuck up out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
weird.
obviously we have no interest in sleeping with any of these people. I don't
want to talk to them, damn near.
I don't even want them to look at me or look.
Our world should not.
We should not coexist.
His kids are older.
I'm 15 years younger than him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
his kids are older than that girl.
Yeah.
That's
the thing.
I don't judge age gaps. Obviously, I just said that me and my wife have a 10-year age gap.
Yeah.
But
I got a 10 years as well.
Fucking with teenagers is crazy to me.
Yep.
It's wild. So he also, because there's a few angles you play when you get caught in a situation like this. One is I didn't do it. Two, whoever they is, are setting me up. So we tend to close ranks around people who get set up. You lose they're setting me up when you 54 with a 19-year-old that you met at the gym. You know what I mean?
Stop right there. That's another thing I had to get clarity on when I went home and had time to think to myself. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't.
What, meet her at the gym?
You didn't. You didn't. That's something that was able to fly last time when we were just recording there. Oh, I met her in the gym. All right, cool. Once I seen it, you was not just on the fucking Stairmaster. You wasn't just trekking along
damn, yo.
and exchange. Stop, yo. Stop. Now you playing with me now.
Yeah.
Now you playing with me now.
Well, a theory's been floated by his bodyguard that he did a tweet and delete.
Absolutely love tweet and deletes. Those are my favorite things that people do.
The messiest shit ever.
Messiest shit ever. His name he goes by Big Zaka. On April 24th, he tweeted, "Fuck NDA." That's, non-disclosure agreement. Fuck NDA. That nigga Shannon met his hoe at a Diddy party when she was 17.
Yikes.
Watch Cat back and you'll understand me, and watch the Cat Williams interview back from 2024. Now, again, I don't know if it's true. I don't know anything about it, but this is another piece of information in response to what you just said.
Without knowing if it's true, just the tweet takes that Cat Williams level to God. That Cat Williams interview to godlike status for me.
What's the reference in the? I don't know the reference from the Cat.
What he's saying is, watch the Cat Williams Shannon Sharpe interview when he was talking about Puff and the Puff parties, and in relation to meeting white girls and what white women will do to you. The Kang conversation that he mentioned, Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
Monique kind of had this same conversation with him.
I saw that, yeah.
But to say that tweet about Cat Williams, that says that Cat Williams is kind of doing this interview knowing about you, because in that I went to look for it, and Cat is saying, "Yo, dog, I'm able to speak this way because I know about everything I'm saying. I have receipts. I can talk." So if you put any validity to the tweet, it's like, all right, Cat Williams know about you and is playing in your face.
Got it. I didn't catch that reference at first.
Yeah, me either.
That's ill. That's ill.
Even the audio of the phone call that when was first released, he made it seem like it was chopped and edited to
make him look a certain way.
Yeah, like he was talking dirty, and then she chopped it up and made it look like some other shit. But it don't sound great. It does sound edited, but it don't sound great. And you don't sound sexy. That I know niggas change their voice for sexy time talk.
Yeah,
I know. Come on, man. Listen, I've been on Earth long enough to know that part. That wasn't sexy time voice. I'ma choke you. That was the other choke you.
I'ma fuck you up.
That was
That was that. I'ma fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what you did.
That's just what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. We telling the truth here.
No, that's what it sounds like to me too.
I'd be lying if I said my position wasn't thinking that he did a fantastic job doing that on his own. It wasn't anybody's place to do that.
Yeah.
For Shannon now has to go into one of the greatest fall offs you ever saw.
Yeah. Right at the
in the event that you had great things happening for Shannon the way I did.
Yeah.
Well, great that they were happening already.
they started to happen.
If you got $10 million on the hush on the settlement, then great things are happening. This is going down as this is in the fucking.
This is worse than Jonathan Majors. This is
way worse.
Way worse.
This is like Kanye
This
level.
is way worse than Jonathan.
Jonathan Majors was still ascending.
Jonathan Majors was on the cusp of almost getting there. Shannon had gotten there.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's
And then jumped off.
In a second career.
Word.
Oh, yeah.
Third, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's been broadcasting for a little bit, and then
So many of his contemporaries, I'm sure, hated him and the trajectory he was on.
Yeah.
All right, so shout out to Mark Lamont doing his journalist due diligence. Yeah, it looks like Shannon spoke to Stephen A. Because when we talked about Stephen A's response to Shannon stepping down, he said Shannon was claiming he was innocent and everything was consensual. And now we got Mark Lamont not only speaking to Shannon, but he didn't really talk about the conversation he had with Shannon, but he talked about speaking with people who work for ESPN or Disney, one or the other, but y'all know ESPN is owned by Disney, who said that Shannon was axed, that Shannon is fired. The statement that he gave when he said he was stepping down, I told y'all, it was obvious he was reading. I mean, you can look at this picture. What is he looking at? This is the same picture from the statement. What is he looking at? Like his eyes look like they're looking at a screen and he's reading it. So it did come off as a little disingenuous, but I think right now Shannon is in panic mode. I think the only time he gets to relax right now is when he's doing Nightcap with Ocho Cinco. I keep seeing a lot of people have an issue with the lawyer, and when Joe puts it in those terms of Shannon basically putting himself out there unnecessarily when he didn't have to, I can agree, okay, maybe he did go about some of that situation a little bit haphazardly, right? But like I said, I think he was in panic mode. They were trying to compete with Tony Busby. He's dropping stuff, the girls dropping stuff. So they're trying to say, okay, it's consensual. But he ended up telling his bosses a lot of unnecessary information about him. Now, I can also say that eventually that stuff was going to come out. And so eventually ESPN was going to find out everything. Even if it didn't come out to the public, you know, they have enough money as a corporation to do their research. But some people say, well, they didn't really do their due diligence when it came to hiring Shannon in the first place because of his past with FS1 and the other things he was accused of, like choking the young lady and all this other stuff. Okay. But also, I think ESPN were willing to gamble on how well Shannon and Stephen A. Smith were paired together. And we know First Take, it's been live, okay? I don't think First Take has been this good since Max Kellerman was there, okay? And shout out to Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97 up there, but, you know, he's no Max Kellerman. No disrespect. I'm just saying First Take has been good with Shannon. So I think they were willing to be like, okay, we'll overlook some stuff, make sure you keep it clean, and we'll keep you. And I keep telling y'all, they let him slide on the Instagram Live too. But here's the part of the podcast where it really got deep. You know, we can talk about the young lady's age all day, but these accusations about Shannon didn't meet her at a gym and that he met her at a Diddy party, I don't know how true that is, but as Joe parroted to the Cat Williams interview, and to imagine that Cat was actually speaking to Shannon Sharpe at that moment, talking about the Diddy parties, talking about meeting these women at these parties, saying, I know this. He could have been telling Shannon, I know what you're doing. And of course, it's just like Monique saying, hey, Shannon, in that interview, you need to get you a young girl. And see, these are two people who are in the industry who knew about Shannon's MO. They probably already knew about Shannon and how he moved. I'll even go as far as to say, remember when Shannon was talking about he had a crush on Nikki Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, and we saw them hook up for a little bit? I remember thinking to myself, maybe Shannon didn't like her because I heard they dated. But maybe she already heard a whole bunch of stuff about Shannon and steered away from him. Now, I know that's a stretch, but what I'm saying is I think the industry is a very small place, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kat and Monique heard these things about Unc, okay? And we go into this conversation they had at the end about, is this one of the worst fall-offs? And I would say, yeah, this is up there with Jonathan Majors. But I would say it might be worse than Jonathan Majors because we thought Jonathan Majors had a lot of potential. We really didn't see everything start to come to fruition with Jonathan Majors. With Shannon, look, when Stephen A got $100 million, I think a lot of us said Shannon's going to get a big payday from somewhere. He's doing too good. Everything is doing great. Whether it was for ESPN, whether it was for a podcast, the bags was coming, and we seen him make a lot of money already. It was like signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Like it was, the money was in his pocket. And this happens, and the trajectory just goes down. And I keep telling y'all, when I was looking at Shannon, I was looking at Casanet. And I was like, Shannon is the older version of Casanet, just blowing up in the media world. And now we see everything looking like it's coming to a close. And yes, it does make you wonder what's going to happen in Nightcap. What's going to happen to Club Shay Shay? And I'll end it with, I know Ocho Cinco, I know he's not rooting for his, co-host downfall, but if you watch that show, Shannon was always so hard on Ocho, as if Ocho was going to be the one to mess up. But we constantly have seen Shannon going on Nightcap talking about some horrible thing that's going on with him, while Ocho, the guy that everybody thought was going to be the problem, has been staying clean, doing a good job. Hell, we seen Ocho at ESPN. And wouldn't it be crazy if, Shannon permanently leaves ESPN and First Take and we see Ocho start to come in more regularly? Let me know what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.